You have to replace the camera from this one to that one. With that arrow up, you can actually stop video. Oh, we didn't connect the camera before. So this is the USB for the camera to hold them on. That doesn't go in the charger?
Yeah. Did you get the microphone attached?
Yeah.
There, yeah. Okay.
Okay, now check whether the microphone is the correct one, please.
Yeah, you can click the zoom at the, there you go. Hazel Long. Oh, before we get, are you all set for tomorrow's presentation?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
practicing it and then finalizing the PowerPoint.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm good.
you're good. All right.
You don't have to be there.
Well, I'm gonna be there, but I don't know. It was, to me, I was, I attended about 4 hours of sessions today.
Yeah.
And, it was great. Yeah, it was really good. The,
When we start, we share.
so I don't know if
We put the shares.
some of the people, like when there was like multiple paper sets, there was just one person that was
One share.
there, like, it looked like they may have got there early ahead of time or done something. I didn't know, I didn't pay too much attention to speaker resources because I'm not presenting, right?
Yeah, I played with it about system. There's a speaker entrance.
Okay,
Yeah, we clicked up on
Because
the
people
be
that
able to
will
share
join
screen and then it's on.
all right, so there's a special speaker entrance.
Right.
Okay, good. All right, so you don't need to meet, I don't need to be in the special speakers thing. You got it. Great.
No.
All right, I'll be in the audience then.
Sounds good.
Yeah, cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
Okay, so I think,
Share the entire screen.
yeah.
Use one over here. Because whatever you need, you can just move from this screen to the other and move from this to this one. Yeah,
Yeah, you'll get used to
I'm
it.
gonna be there with you tomorrow. I won't awkward myself.
Oh, so you're gonna pop up in the speaker area?
Yes, I'm a speaker.
Okay, great. All right.
Don't have to share your share, that's a small one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Another thing that we learned recently is like, whenever you wanna check which screen you're sharing, you can click here, this green area. And then it shows you a thumbnail of which screen you're sharing.
Let me just check out always. He's learning a lot. Brad is very good at this technology.
I know, that's why we want him here.
you bet.
This is just the first hour. He's gonna be a pro in no time.
My creativity is the real sweet.
Okay.
Yep, that one. All right, Maddox. He's on this thing, Maddox.
I bet he is on the way.
Yeah, I thought that's what the bus, but.
Was Maddox at the thing this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's just like arranging stuff inside the building.
what?
It's just helping like arranging stuff in the building.
Oh, okay. Did anybody have his contact information, phone or something? See, say, hey,
Chat.
yeah,
Is he not in the Zoom call?
Junior, we have a sheet in the, somewhere, we have a sheet somewhere with for contact.
It's the same spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Called Lehigh River Lab. The first tab is contacts,
all right.
but
so-
we need to have.
It needs to get
people
Yeah,
update
all right, so let me, find it here. So it's under.
Oh, yeah, just download the version.
Wait, I'll make it.
Yeah.
Lab management, yeah, Lehigh River Lab. There it is, okay. Let me go ahead and try to, a few of these that we don't need anymore, Matt. These. Okay, I'll put the link here for today's agenda item 2. All right. So in the notes, that's our, kind of our Lehigh River, like, we haven't used this in a while, but we have this for people's contact information for phone. If everybody could go in there and just add your name and number, that would be that way. If like we need to text someone, say, hey, where are you, right, to start a meeting, we know how to get to you quickly. And I want to get started. I hope Maddox will walk in here soon. I know Tom had some, if I remember what he told me, he's got a couple meetings that he's juggling. I think he says he's gonna pop in for some of the meetings, gonna pop out. But I'd like us to go ahead and get started. We'll do introductions around the table in a minute. Today's goal is to kind of get everybody's head wrapped around what we want to accomplish this summer. We started off, we had this long-term planning document that we worked on quite a bit in May. And you'll have access to that, and we'll kind of go through it, see if we need to adjust that. We have, and really, I think the prior, we'll have some red cap updates, talk about next steps. I want to make sure if there's questions about the mountaintop summer experience, everybody has a chance to ask questions and talk and comment about it. We want to talk a little bit about prepping for an Nasreen study, because that's coming up pretty quick on us. And really to also assign, I want us to leave today with kind of initial tasks assigned so that people know what they're doing this week in terms of your hours. And then we're going to also go over the sprint reports. And I created a template. And most of you are familiar with the sprint reports. We've been using them with all our groups during the academic year. Okay, so anyway, let's get started. I mean, everybody knows me, right? So I don't need to do any introduction. So T, go ahead and say if you're like a fellow or an associate here.
So I'm T, I'm about to talk fellow, and I major in computer science and engineering.
And you're gonna be sophomore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And T's been working on our red cap stuff, a lot of our red cap for data collection. Nasreen.
I'm Nasreen Haddouche. I'm a PhD student. I finished 3 years, this program. And I'm also a manager of learning operations at St. Luke's Hospital.
And Nasreen's, we're planning to start data collection for her headset doctoral research project with a version of Watershed Explores Industrial History. And her sample is for undergraduate, graduate students. This is her sample. And one of the things that we're going to have to talk about today is kind of coordinating with Bill Whitney with strategic times so we can engage the mountaintop students for put the headset on. Yeah, and I know there's a calendar now, a tentative calendar that we all have access to. We'll take a look at that today. It's a little, originally we thought, oh, this should be pretty easy because in the past everyone's up here for lunch and everybody's around, but now it's different this year. So we'll have to be strategic and figure out a plan for that. Juan.
Okay, so yeah, I'm rising junior, computer science and engineering. And
Yeah, so Juan's worked on a number of the projects, Mystery of the Lehigh Gap for a bit. He's worked on Watershed Explorers. And I have a feeling Juan's probably this summer going to be helping out on both the projects going back and forth a little bit, but we're gonna have to be, I think our challenge with you, Quan, is gonna be keeping you structured with keeping things, let's do one thing at one time and getting it done and tested before moving on to the next. So part of today, I think we want to really try to figure out prioritizing your initial tasks, you know, what needs to get done. Mo,
So I'm Mo and I'm a rising senior and my major is computer science and engineering.
so
Have
Mo's,
you met before?
So we just met in the morning.
Today,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you're doing the same program, right?
yeah. So Mo, like, Maddox, who's not here yet, is, is, is one of our CSE capstone students who's been working on, Mo's been working on the flood adventure this, past year. Maddox been working on the GIS, watershed project. And is there, it's almost just gonna do show him. I think everybody knows the law. Yeah, right, yeah, okay, so everybody knows the law, and everybody knows Junior, okay. All right, so, and Farah, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead, introduce
So
yourself.
my name is Farad. I just finished a master's degree and I like to bring creativity to everything. So a lot of ideas are gonna sound crazy because they are, but that's how you find some new solutions.
So Farah came to me a few months ago and said, you know, I really want to learn more about VR and immersive learning. And I said to him, you know, let's get you to join the group this summer and work in the lab. He has an excellent skill set. And I said to him, we don't want him to be doing brand new development because of the ramp up with Unity, but you have been spending some time with the Unity tutorials, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. So my thought with Farad, and we'll talk about it, is I see Farad, you know, so I emailed Farad and I said, you know, we got to do some data collection and we got some headset testing to do, making Burns SDKs for the of our projects into the headsets. And I asked him if he'd be interested in learning and how to do that. And he said, yeah. So Farad's here. And so I think what we're going to be using Farad a lot for is to help out a few things. One is with getting Nesreen's project with the data collection. He's also going to be helpful for testing things out. One of the things that we all need to do more of when we do our development is, you know, push to the cloud, and then it's got to get onto a headset and test it. And that's always been kind of I don't want to say it's been a major stumbling block, but that's kind of been our weakness, I think, during the academic year, because we don't meet as often, you know, during the academic year. And what happened during the academic year, it's usually I'm the one who ends up having to do all the headset testing to make sure everything's there. So it's going to be nice to have Bharat in this capacity to help out. I also think so he'll be good also with building SDKs. Also, I think he's going to be very helpful when it comes to helping to test out things with RedCap, because that's going to involve a lot of testing too as things are developed. And we'll talk more about RedCap a little later today with the update and the next steps in our meeting that I think we had a meeting with Amir, and I think we updated, I can't remember when that was, but I think updated the LDSIF students, but everybody else is going to need an update on that. All right, so let's get into it. Farad, if you can go ahead and click on that long-term planning link, we'll talk about kind of the big picture here. All right, so what we put on are kind of where the what people's kind of commitments are this year. So Quan and T are full-time this summer as a Mountaintop Fellow. And so the expectation is, I don't know what Bill said earlier because I wasn't there, but the expectation is, you know, 35, 40 hours a week. That's kind of how it's always been with Mountaintop. But you also, T and Quan also have to prioritize Mountaintop activities. So so there's things like sparring sessions they're gonna have, sometimes they're gonna bring in guest speakers. And the expectation is y'all are gonna, whenever something's mandatory attendance, y'all need to attend. Now, for associates, that's Mo and Maddox. And Maddox, I don't know, Maddox is always punctual. I don't know why.
Maybe something serious happened, right?
I hope not.
Exactly.
And he was there this morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I hope he didn't forget, right? He didn't, he knew we.
I think we just- maybe-
All right.
No.
He's probably either waiting for the bus or something to come around.
Yeah, they both like will be 30 minutes away today.
Yeah.
Did you all take the bus?
No, because like Mo and Maddox had to leave a little bit earlier, but yeah, he took bus.
Okay, but in the future, there will be a car, right? No, not anymore.
Now you lost your car. Yeah.
My sister stole my car.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. And again, I also, I think what's important is, I did talk to Bill Whitney and I said, you all need to be up here. So if there's check-in stuff down there, you guys need to be exempt from that. I don't know if did they talk anything about check-ins at all?
I think they were talking about like chickens for paddle, but they did ask the associates to drop them because they only had like 10 hours a week. Still not too sure about the paddle, but I don't think they'll be like checking with last year, right?
Okay. But anyway, I told Bill, I said, if there is a check-in, and again, they might change, I have a feeling they need account. One of the things that the check-in was good, I think, when they did that last year for accountability. Our group never seemed to have that issue because we're pretty structured and engaged. But if there is a required check-in, let me, Junior, Tom's along know immediately, all of us, because remember, I'm going to be away for 3 weeks. I'll have email, but if I need to respond to something about it, I'll give some serious pushback on that because it's not worth the time to check in down there and then wait for a bus and get up here. Y'all need to get up here.
I don't think that's like really important because like last year they also did check in through like the messages from the chat, so
Yeah.
they might do that.
How could
Yeah.
that work?
It's just basically like, oh, I'm working, basically send them the chat.
You can take a selfie and whatever, send it or something. All right. So Nasreen, we've got you technically lined up as an associate too. So, and again, I don't know how that going to work with your work schedule, right? Because you work a full-time job. But one of the key things is getting your study ready, and everything that has to get done with that. And I put a note here for our assist. All right, T, so Junior has now made you the role for project manager, is that right? Is that how that is?
Dr. Hammond and I suggest that she assists in project management
Okay,
because she's been here during the first semester, so she knows like how to remind about sprint reports and everything.
okay,
So this is another area for you to start leveling up.
all right, your project manager then this summer. Nice,
Thank you.
yeah, great. All right, now Farhat in the email said, you told me you'd be available about 20 hours a week, and these are the times he's available. Are you working another job this summer too?
I was working job.
Yeah, where else are you working? Okay, that's a very important job. When my wife had knee recovery surgery, I became the caregiver for 6, 8 weeks, whatever, and I can respect the caregiver role. Yeah, so, all right. And then in terms of the faculty, so I'm away the 7th through the 28th. And then me and Zalong's going to be gone a long time. He's going to be gone June 15th to August 9th. Tom's got some travel in there. And then, and so this week of July 22 through 26, me and Junior and Tom have to be at the Temple Ambler campus during the day. So we're gonna, at some point, probably in July, like July, I don't know, like the week before that, we're gonna have to figure out when and how we're gonna meet, because we are still gonna need to meet. I don't know how late those days are gonna run for us. I think they're scheduled 9 to 3 down there. Yeah, and then we have to commute back up here, so we might have, what I'm thinking is before that week starts, we'll have a very detailed Thursday meeting, and then maybe we might shift our meeting that week to like maybe a Wednesday, and it might be a late meeting, like start, 4:30 or something. As soon as we can get up here, might have to have some flexibility. So that week, there might be like a late day, it might be a late meeting, and we'll probably only have to do it one time. With that. Yeah. And that might actually get, well, we'll have to figure it out. That might actually, late meeting, if Kate's away, if my wife's away, and she might be, then that actually is gonna, add a little more complexity because of me having cat duty. Stuff like, well, I'll figure it out. All right. So, all right, so here's kind of what we're hoping to get done. I put in some of the stuff's on the board, like the main headings are on the board too. But really the big target is, we want to get a complete headset VR version of Watershed Explorers Industrial History done, where we have the pre and post map task is in the game, in the experience, and the analytics work, and we're able to get the analytic data out of the headset. That's the goal. Can it happen? I don't know. We met with Amir, who is our RedCap support person here. And we spent a whole afternoon with him in the lab, and we could not figure out how to successfully get the data out of the headset. So Amir was going, when we left it, that was I think about 3 weeks ago. Is that right, Junior? About 3 weeks ago. He was going to do a little bit more research. I told him, he said he's available this summer. So what we're going to probably have to do, and I'm going to defer to T and Junior to kind of run point on this, is to this week, probably tomorrow, it would be to reach out to Amir and see if you can get him back engaged with the meeting to talk about where we're at and if he's gotten anything to move forward with that. But sort of so these 6 little bullets here are kind of what has to happen, right? You RedCap data collection needs to be fully tested for offset data collection use. You got to identify where the data is being stored on the headset. There's some new RedCap coaster that he's been developing, needs to be standardized into one solution to be added to the API. We want to, once we have that working, you want to go into plastic and say, hey, this is the node, right? So from that node, you make that APK build. The APK build is the build that goes into the headset that lets the player have that experience. We want to load this one's going into the Meta 3 headsets, and we want to test for the, and the focus is for the Northampton County grant that we have, which we're looking at a fall implementation. So even though that's priority, I would love to see that done, if at all possible, by the end of this month. So when I get back from my trip, we have, hey, you're late.
I think I could have walked up here faster.
Yeah,
I could have.
All right,
Because there's only one bus. If you miss it, it's like,
yeah.
That's like pretty little.
You should have somehow coordinated with Mo or these guys to get up earlier.
I don't see you guys after.
I put one back to your mom.
No, I was waiting for the bus, but I was looking for you guys after the presentation.
Right, so Maddox, where, if you can, Farhat, Miss Farhat, by the way, and you met T and Quan down earlier, Mo you met, all right. So, Farhat, if you can click on IVR1 meeting notes. Quick second. So, Maddox, we're gonna start meetings off here, and there's a link to the IVR2. But you see where it says Lehigh River Lab, I'd like you to add your name and phone number to that sheet. So if we need to reach you like today, we could text you, say, hey, where are you? And you could say, let me know, hey, I'm waiting for the bus or something.
Yeah.
So, okay. Then when you're ready to go back, if you can go back to the long-term planning document. And then we need to create documentation where the pre and post test data analytics are being saved on the headset and how to get that data to the lab's laptop. So that build savings. Okay, and then we got a mirrors contact there. Mirrors. I think you scroll back up, sorry. Let's see, anything else we need to say there, Junior?
Like, I guess I'm taking the task of figuring out what is happening. The first test is going to be me and T, because she has a system that is working, and then I'm going to put that version she has straight into a headset and see if that is going to trigger the issue. If that triggers the issues game on, then we say like, Ani, it's up to you now. If it doesn't trigger the problem, then it might have been something that went wrong in the hierarchy. So I can fix it during this week. So by the end of this week, I'll have worked with T in two capacities. One, for her to help me run this test with her code. And two, I'm going to assist her on topic 2, which is I'm going to be checking with her what is the API like and what is the current version she has, so that we can remove the clutter and make it just as similar as the original. Otherwise, we have to create a lot of documentation.
Great. All right. So I envision, again, this, even though Quan's listed there, this stuff is probably like more T, Junior, and Farhat. You should be able to assist with this too, with some of the testing. A little later, I'll show you the links to the lab management notes, because we have very detailed documentation on how you make these APK builds, how you load things onto the headset. And I think a good use of your time probably this week to start off is just kind of working through that documentation and getting used to that. Yeah, learning. All right. All right. So next, if you want to scroll down, let's see, and then the Spanish version stuff there. Yeah, and I think we had that documented in our playtest notes, and that's something that Juan will probably task on to be working on.
So for the highlighting error, that's like only some work, not every role, right?
Just the words that are supposed to be highlighted.
So they're all not highlighted, right?
In some places, there are words that should be highlighted and they aren't.
Yeah.
So I also like my time in the lab from like the week is for you all to come and ask this type of questions for me, because I'm gonna be here. So if you run into something that you cannot find, just ask me so that you don't lose time in trying to understand something, you know?
Yeah, and we'll get down to his availability. It's on the agenda. Okay. All right. So top priority is to have a headset version from the Serene study. We have that. So we have we have a note, our latest note in plastic is done. And what we haven't done yet is we haven't tested it in the headset. We went through, we had a series of meetings of Quan, Michelle,
And us,
us and Jonah.
Yeah.
And Jonah. So we got what we believe is everything is done, but when we ended it, we didn't make a headset build and test it. So we think everything is done, but it still needs to get tested in the headset to make sure everything is working. So that's something that'll have to get done hopefully this week. Now, the other thing too, and again, I think it's going to be interesting because Farhat hasn't, he did Watershed Explorers Environmental Issues, right?
yes.
Yeah, so industrial histories, it's similar, but Farhat probably doesn't know what to look for. So,
There are lists.
yeah, the list is, I mean, there's so much stuff in there to have to look for. So probably what's gonna have to happen is when Junior's available, he's gonna need to do the headset test. And again, I'm hunting here for because, I'm at this conference this week, right? So, and that's today, in the next 2 days, so I don't have really time. I'm gonna stay home and attend the conference like I should, right? Thursday I'll be here for the meeting, but Thursday, I have to make sure, I leave the next day for my trip. So I can't really stay afterwards and do headset testing. I just don't have the time this week and I apologize for that. So I think Junior, you're probably gonna be the best person to have to once, at some point to go through with somebody on the computer and just in that last build. Now, Nasreen, one of the things, and we'll probably, if you look at our IVR, in fact, let's just diverge a sec. Go to IVR1 meeting notes, because I want to present this to you because you have a couple of options, okay? Scroll down. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, stop right there. So, we have a node that we believe has everything you need. It's a comparison to your desktop VR. We probably what Quan is going to do this week, and I think he can get this done this week, is there's a list of things to develop. We want to develop an alert to go off after 60 seconds in the gallery that says, hey, you're in the gallery, click whatever to go back to your river exploration, where it's one button that you click to get back to where you left off in the river exploration. And then also a related thing for the journal and the glossary. Because what we found is we had a couple people, they were older, but some people, when they get into the glossary and the journal, they're 2 layers deep now. Yep. They couldn't easily get themselves back. And remember, these were not almost, the majority of people that did Watershed Explorers in the headset were first-time users. We had very few people that had experience with it. And we noticed this with a couple of the older people, they would kind of get lost. I mean, they were enjoying it, right?
We're middle school students.
And they're middle school too, it got kind of lost. So
The age thing is not a thing.
all right. And one more for the progress panel. So Quan knows how to do this. I mean, we did this for some other reminders, but we just need to get it working. So since, like I said, we have a working node, but if you want to, I think like within a week, if you want to wait another week to make your APK build, then you can have that as part of that also. It's your decision. Okay.
Do you think that will be done by next week?
Yeah, because I'd like to make that, so with Quan's time, I see kind of, and we'll talk to Quan about how long he thinks that might take him, because I see 2 things for Quan's time this week. The first thing is this, because I think he can get this done probably in a day, right? Probably get that done in a day. Yeah. The other thing though, when we were going through mystery of the Lehigh Gap with our under the hood session that we all attended. Quan found a bunch of things that he says, I think I could fix that fairly quickly. You know, there was a kind of a few things. So now he's kind of going like this. Sorry.
When you talk about the game over text, or you talking about like some other?
I don't know. When we had that meeting, there were a few things that you were taking notes and said, I think I could do that, fix that pretty quickly. So there's a punch list that we're going to have to revisit for Mystery of the Lehigh Gap, and we'll get to that in the meeting today. And I think if there's some things on that punch list, Juan, when we look at it today, that you say, yeah, I can do that quickly, like within this week. We can maybe have that assigned to you to do this week, but if not, it's okay. Well, there's plenty of stuff that needs.
I think Juan has enough on his plate to make sure that this goal of having this version of watershed explorer done by the end of the week is done.
All right, so
So
you
he's
can,
doing those alerts,
yeah,
and he's also revising the colorful clickable words.
all right,
Because otherwise, those are functionalities, like, if
Alright.
it's not there, it's gonna be missing. He needs to fix those first before he can take anything else.
all right, decisions made.
We have more medics to focus on the other games.
All right. I was just thinking it might be easy for something that's quick that we could, all right.
But the
okay.
game over is a lot of
Yeah,
convoluted programming,
Alright.
so it's better people with a fresh mind to see that.
all right, so let's go ahead back to the long-term development planning. All right, so the next one's really primarily it's T, to have this complete headset VR version finished analytics with no pre-post data, because we want to get the analytics into this also at some point this summer. All right, and then we had a list of other tasks, and we thought that Parat would be able to assist with the testing on this and making builds for MetaQuest 3, headset documentation. Nesreen's, so this is just a caveat here. Okay? Nesreen's study is going to be with the MetaQuest 2 headsets. So, and so Farat, and I think Farat, you're pretty much the only one. But just to let you know, the top shelf here, these are the Quest 2 headsets. Right now they have white. I asked Xian to make sure it's all consistent with different colors, and she didn't yet. I think she's hopefully come in, but I got some tape and talked to her last week about, you know, color code is a bit better. The Quest 3 ones are on the bottom. Now, a couple things about the lab, just a reminder. Headsets 1 and 2 for Quest 3 always stay in the lab. So we have 10. So 3 through 10 can go out for data collection. We'll talk a little bit about if people need to have one at home too, or if they're outside of the lab. That's another thing. We're supposed to have a checkout thing. It's supposed to be ready, and it's not ready yet. All right. So other things, language option. Need to test the language option. We're not translating some of these in the final play tests. So we got a few things to finish up there. Okay, so any questions so far for Watershed Explorers Industrial History, kind of what the game plan is? If you want to get them.
There's some information that we're missing. Anything? Opening the CSV file needs to be opened in Visual Studio, not Excel, not Notepad, not anything else, just Visual Studio.
Yeah, that's in our notes, in our IVR meeting notes, but let's add that. I think here would be a good place to add it to. That's the CSV file right under possible solutions. All right, I'll just here. Yeah, this is real. And Quan, I don't know if you have this memorized in your head yet. We worked with you on that last week. Yeah, so again, this is important. We have this CSV file that controls all the language versions. And in order, if you make edits or anything, it's got to be done in Visual Studio, not like in Excel or anything like that. That's really important. All right.
So,
Yeah.
the goal for the industrial history is to basically fix all the things you said before, and then get into APK and then play test it and really
And test.
get it to you before like Friday. For the industrial history or APK. Like we need to play test it beforehand, right? And then
Well, I'm not too, it doesn't, when we make the build, like when we do correct if I'm wrong, Junior, you do a build run, it doesn't generate the APK. Like when we're testing the node in plastic, when we got the link cable, we're not making an APK, we're just.
We are on the table now.
Yeah, so if we're using the link cable, and that's kind of what we do for testing, we go into the node in plastic, and then we coordinate it with Unity and hit play. And then whoever's got the headset on, we usually display here so everybody can see. And if there's any edits, we make those edits during the headset testing. We usually create from plastic from that node, we make a test node and we do our testing in that node. So we don't need to make, so like I said, so where we left off last week, we have a node in plastic, and we'll pull that up a little later today. That just needs to get connected to the link cable with somebody in the headset, Junior, right? And test it to make sure everything is working well. I think it would be better to do that sooner than later, just to make sure that all the changes that we made at the last couple of weeks are actually working in the headset. Yeah, so that needs to be done. And then these other ones, those 4 other reminders, Juan, we'll make a new branch for you to work on that and then link to main and then test. But so there's no immediate rush to build the APK right now because Nasreen said, okay, no, I'd rather have these other features in this version for the headset, which, so hopefully like next week we start making the APK. Yeah, and again, that would be something we'd want to get Farad also involved in because he can learn how to make the APK and you can test that out too with any node right now. They make a test node and make APKs and test it out. Okay, full desktop version. So this one, at some point we want to get Quan to work on this summer too. Once we get the Watershed Explorers and Industrial History version done. We have this full version. It's a WebGL version. Junior kind of knows where everything is, where the node is. And there's kind of this opening research message. We just got to remove that. And then there's some data collection from the prologue and the epilogue that has to be removed. And then we have to kind of check the ending of it just to make sure it's where we want it to end. We want to then label the node in plastic if this is the WebGL version. And then we want to get analytics added to the full WebGL version. So the only difference really between the full version and the shorter versions that we have is you've got in every location, instead of just one photosphere and 1 or 2 media elements, there's 2 or 3 photospheres with more media elements. And there's like information signs. And one of the things that we're going to want to try to get some analytic data would be, do people look at the information signs? How long do they stay on those information signs? So it's really the same thing. You're just adding more stuff to it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that would be something that we'll have you work on also this summer. I think we should be able to get to. But again, the priority right now is getting that map test task work first with the analytics and the headset. All right, and then, Junior, so Junior and I did the credits page. Has that been added? Is it added yet to industrial history? All right, so scroll, I got it. Let's add that. That needs to get onto the list here. VR development, I'm gonna make a new two, so. So the credits page needs to get added. Hopefully that shouldn't take too long. So Junior knows where that is. And that credits page, what we decided to do is we're going to take that same credits page with the same content and put it in all three versions, watershed, both short versions and then the full version. So that'll have to get in all versions.
So can you would also?
Yeah, I will. Okay, got it. All right. Mystery of the Lehigh Gap. So it's Maddox and Moe and Vaughn. That's the list. We have, and we're not gonna go into this, but we had an under the hood session, was it last week? Yeah, I think last Monday. There's a huge punch list of stuff that just has to get addressed, and that's in the IVR2 meeting notes. And let's see, is anything else? I think that's, well, go ahead and scroll down. I would like us to get this done this summer. Go ahead and scroll down. And if by chance, we get everything finished, we find out, hey, we got this stuff done, then the next thing is Lehigh Gap story. We have a fully functional desktop VR. We started working on a headset VR development, but that has to get finished. But that's kind of where we are right now. I'll stop, take any questions.
Do you think it would be beneficial, like, you mentioned we have that big punch list? For me and Mo, or whatever, we have one dude as well, to like kind of try to assign things in like a loose way, or do you think? I don't know, like how do you think
Yeah, and that's on the
Just 'cause there's a
agenda.
lot there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna cover that today. That's what I'd like to do is kind of, we'll get, it's like second to last thing on the agenda. We'll go take a look at the punch list and then start assigning tasks for this week.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, so let's go ahead back to IVR1 meeting notes. All right. All right, so Junior put in the link to the calendar. Make sure you have our lab's calendar into your Google Calendar. All right, got the add your name and phone number if folks have done that. All right, so I just want to give everybody a really brief grant funding update. As most of you know, we got this was a while back, we got funded for Northampton County tourism tax grant. And basically with that grant, what it does is it bought the Quest 3 headsets, the 8 of them. We got 2 from the TLT program. And I got those 2 suitcases. So we now have 3 suitcases because we got plenty to carry all this stuff when we go to site events. We need suitcases. So I got that. And then this is our new power strip. Yeah, it's bigger. So as you notice, and we're going to talk a little bit about lab equipment discussion a little later on the agenda. But the other power strip that's been sitting there, which Junior, it's there, yeah. So what we envision is that power strip now, we'll keep this in the cabinet, and when we go to events like for Nasreen Study going down the mountaintop or any other place on campus where we might be able to get in with other students this summer. Then that power strip would get put into the suitcase. Along with, battery chargers, and, in case you need to plug something in, it's there for you. All right. Let's see. So, all right. So, and I'm gonna put this out there to y'all now too, because this is the second thing the grant fund did. With that grant, I think there's about $1,600 or $1,700 in there to pay for student support to come with me out to the outreach, so events. So these, I just emailed, there's going to be two, and this is going to take place in the fall, during the fall semester. As part of this grant, what we agreed to do is there's going to be two events at the National Museum of Industrial History, which is right down here in Bethlehem, two events at the Steel Stacks Visitor Center at ArtQuest, two events at Jacobsburg, and two events at the DNL Canal Museum. So over the weekend, I emailed everybody, all our partners on this grant, created a Google sheet, and I said, give me 2 dates and times where you want to do your outreach events and put them on there for the fall. And I know already, the National Museum of Industrial History, they have like 2 free open house Sundays, I think. They put them there. And these things are going to, again, these are public outreach center. So these things are going to happen on Saturdays and Sundays. So I'm just putting it out there right now. If you're interested in attending these with me to help me out, it's public programs. So it means, we go out there with the suitcase with our 7-8 West Street headsets, and there's going to be some surveys that people will take before that, and getting them with the headset, we actually get, and I'll train, we have a whole training thing that procedure that we did. And for Nasreen's study too, we'll walk you all through this training procedure that we found to be effective, because Junior and I have been out to our centers when we did his research study. But a lot of this involves going out to the centers, working with the public, making sure that it's comfortable, and then that we start it for them, because most people, it's their first time in a headset. You don't have to tell me now if you're interested. I'm just putting it out there. And then the second thing to let you know too, because I don't just need I can probably use like 2 people to come with me to each of these events. And there's funding. Even though I said I only have like $1,700 from that grant, we got another grant funded, okay? Which is an internal proposal from the College of Education. It's a partnership grant for research. And we have a budget. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll do my best to remember what that. So it's about $30,000. And I don't think they gave me an expiration date on it either. But there's money involved to go to the center places, to do public programs. So in addition to those 4 places in the fall, we'll probably also maybe, if we don't kill ourselves too much with that, we'll probably do some at the Lehigh Gap Nature Center too, and probably Nurture Nature Center. And again, my gut feeling is these things are going to happen on the weekends. So, if you want to give up some time for weekends, and there's a rate. I know I think the graduate student rate's $29 an hour, and undergraduate rate, it's either $21 or $23 an hour. It's a little less. But there's a set university rate that we have to go by in the budget. There'll be also opportunity for people to work also if interested to get paid. I think we need a web developer, because we have a Drupal site that it needs some work. And what I'm hoping we can do is in the next year, get everything for all these projects on that site. And so people can get into the WebGL version, maybe download an APK for however people do it, or we may have to go through SideQuest or something like that. yeah, somebody do this through home, but, and then there's some, funds available to help with, data analysis and doing data tables, some research components, and also some development work too, I think, also is in, but we'll talk more about that, towards the end of the summer. So that's good news. So I know, Juan and T, I sent you copies of those proposals, both proposals. I know you all have to do those sparring sessions. So you have information. If you have any questions about any of that, you feel free to ask them. I can assist. But remember, you might need the questions to come by Thursday, because I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. I think Tom, well, as long as I'm be gone too, but I'm 15. Tom, I think Tom's head is kind of wrapped around the GIS NSF proposal that he's working on a proposal right now. He's using a lot of his time. I'm pretty sure that's why he's not here right now. So he's got a meeting with the school district about that. All right, Red Cap. So, briefly, T, do you want to just give a brief update to where you left off in the spring semester?
I think in the semester we discuss like getting like how long it takes the player to like read like the narration. So like the continue button, like the exit button. So I kind of did like a similar thing when I did with the kind of like open the image or close the image. So just like adding additional script into the code that I already did about like the action they did. So kind of like the action I'm gonna do like continue the national narration panel and then exit like the narration panel. So we're gonna start like each first view.
Sounds good. All right, so you pretty much know what you need to be doing, right? So more specific guidance in the next steps.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna talk about next step is like just like talking about like getting like the offline data collection.
Yeah, that's kind of where we need to move. Yeah.
Yeah, these, we will stumble on that as soon as we start comparing the original APK with your version, right? Because as we compare, we will see where the offline preparation is stored in the code. And then after we understand that, especially you'll be able to do whatever you need to do to make sure that those extra variables are. But I don't think we will need to do anything because Nathan really thought everything through. And offline happens naturally, which means like the way the API was created, like if the game tries to open Google or something like that, and it can't because it's offline, it starts saving on the device automatically. So I don't think we'll have to do any programming, and there's not even a different setup in the inspector in Unity. You do the same setup you do for an online version, and if it's not online, the offline will save. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem for us.
I think like if we do the offline, or we have to check like the offline, you like using offline collection for all the like the
That box is for us to force when we are debugging. For example, we are here in the lab and we are super connected with the internet, but we need to do some tests offline. So we check that box.
right.
Yeah, because usually the games are online, right? It tests Red Cat first. Can I send the data straight to Red Cat? Yes, great. It's in Red Cat. If it cannot, it goes to the second stage, which is doing it offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else for Red Cap?
So I said that before, this week, besides helping everyone whenever they need to get started, I will try to understand what happened. I am hoping to bet, I'm betting actually, that this has been some kind of thing that got disconnected in the project you know, because of this go back and forth in plastic. But anyways, but just like I said, if I notice that the test I run with cheese version produces the same problem, then I'm gonna pass the button to Amiga because
Okay.
that's gonna be a red cap specific issue.
All right. The important thing is just gonna be to get good documentation. It's really important when things are being stored, get the data offline. All right. Nesreen's study. All right. So Nesreen, you said you wanted to kind of start data collection by the first week of July, right? When I get back, is that still the case? Okay. All right. So
And if I can start earlier, what like, if there's anyone can help me with that, then I need your help. So
Yeah.
Murat is up and running and she can help me with that. I can
Mhm.
start once I have it.
yeah. Yeah, you're welcome to start. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think if Quan finishes up by next week,
Yes.
we get those additions, and then it's a matter of just building the you got tests in the headset. And you got to build the APKs, load on the headsets, and then what's really important, right? That's right. Y'all need to test it on every headset. So it's not a matter of just loading on the APK. You got to go through the experience to make sure it's working on each headset. And that would be on the Quest 2 headsets.
I know it sounds weird, but I am also with him. We have been through hell together. And I think it's because we use technology that is so like cutting edge that even the manufacturers have been releasing updates. And these updates sometimes make something that was working stop working. And then it affects us. So we don't know what is happening. So testing in every head, but it's the same APK, yes, but we lost data in 6 headsets and only one got the data. And why is that? Nobody knows yet.
Yeah.
So that's why we really added this extra testing, because otherwise we will be having this ring falling the same problem that I felt. And we want to minimize problems, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
And the good news is Nasreen's doing offline data collection. She's doing she's doing non-headset data collection. It's actually online data collection, but not out of the headset. Anyway, she's got a project set up, which is good because you could, I guess, either do it on the phone or do it on the website. Works pretty well. All right. So the link here, why don't we click on that real quick? And so again, I'm going to have to defer to T, Quan, Natix, and Mo here about the schedule and what they said. But when go ahead and hit that left arrow on the left side, that outline arrow. So, and if you could scroll down just a little bit. So when I skimmed through this today, it looks like, they got some late lunches and press conference days on Fridays. There's some workshop days, innovator and residence. My initial thinking, at least when I looked at this today, was when he's got something on the schedule, it means there's going to be a lot of people down there, they're going to be showing up. And I know a lot of the students are going to be working in that space in that church, 472 Vine. So this week, Nasreen, I'd encourage you to it's your study, so you need to take the point on it. When you need to communicate with Bill Whitney, and I would copy myself and copy Farad to keep us all in the loop to say, what we want to do is find some time that Bill thinks is going to be good where we could actually bring the headsets down and engage the mountaintop students. And again, if it's like only an hour at a shot, well, that's okay. It gives you at least, you got an hour, you got 7 students, right? If you can get it typically takes, again, without your data collection measures, 15, 20 minutes to do the experience. Most people, a few people they're going to spend a bit more time in the photo journal, but I think our experiences with most students, they go through it pretty quick. 15
So I stopped by and I spoke with Bill.
Okay.
Today before I come here. So they have we can't conduct the experiment in that large room because there are a lot of people there. So I asked him if he has other smaller rooms, private rooms. So he showed me 2 rooms, but they're not that large. So maybe they can, one of them that need reservation, maybe we can have 3 people or 4 max. And the other room, I think just 2. The other room doesn't need reservation. I think it's available most of the time. It can hold 2 people.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't think we can have 7 people at one time.
You don't, or you
I don't.
don't? Because you can't really get, so you think you can't get 2 people, like, if there was 3 of us down there or 2 of us, you couldn't get like
Yeah,
4 in one room, 2 in
yeah,
the other.
we
Wouldn't
can't
work.
do that. We can't do
Can,
that. Yeah,
okay.
we can. We have to take the both rooms, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so my experience, and again, once you get used to running these, you know, a ratio of 1 person, 1 of us with 4 people seems 3 to 4 works pretty well. Because you've got to get people take the pre-tests, and then you've got to. So it's helpful to have 2 people in the room because somebody can monitor the flow of the pre-tests and getting people in the headsets, make it, because you got to get it prepped ahead of time. And you want to get this, and you want to have the program actually running. So the first thing they see is click, right?
Yes.
And that's how you want to put somebody in the headset with it up and running so that they're ready to go. Just put it on, and it works pretty well. So I think what I want to do, all right, so it sounds like you got a good start on that. You looked at space, and just keep me in the loop. When you schedule things, if I'm here, I'm happy to help out. As you get things scheduled, I'll put them on my calendar.
I have a vacation the last week of July.
Okay.
So my last week of the month, the last day will be July 26th.
Okay. All right. So, and how many are you trying to get for your study? How many? Which is 50? Okay. So another thing that's worth talking to Bill about too, because he's kind of tied in. Like you see on these days where it says Mandela Washington Fellows. And I'm so there's times that they bring in other groups. Mountaintop's connected with other groups. Now, the Mandela Washington Fellows are not students. But I just use that as an example. Because I know this program. These are young adults from all over the world. A lot come from Africa, South America. And they're here for 3 or 4 weeks during the summer for an intensive program. But they're not students, so I don't know, like they wouldn't, like that wouldn't be part of your sample. But it's worth having a follow-up with Bill to say, hey, are there other groups of students on campus that he knows of that you might be able to recruit? I don't know what's going on, but I don't even know who even teaches in the summer around here. But Bill tends to know, because I know there are some other groups of students. Yeah. All right. And Nasreen, on the VR long-term planning document, just write on there, like where we have all our dates and vacations, just write when your last day is, so I know. And then if you don't get the 50, then I guess when you get back and classes start in the fall, we can figure something out. Yeah. All right. All right, mountaintop summer questions. Anybody have any questions about anything about the summer or anything that was said during the morning session that you felt kind of confused about?
I guess like as associates, are we expected to go to the stuff like the workshops and everything like stuff like that? Like on Wednesday?
It's not required.
Okay.
I think there's some they'll be offered that you might want to take advantage of. They bring some really good extra
I saw
speakers.
I see some that are interesting.
Yeah, but not required.
I just might not be able to get to that every time.
Mhm.
Like this week, for example, I have work shifts tomorrow and Wednesday, so. That wouldn't work for me this week, but yeah, I could, and then are we planning to meet here on Thursday every week as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mondays and Thursdays are,
is that like strictly in person, do you think?
yeah,
Okay, okay,
yeah. Unless you really have,
yeah,
you know, an excuse that you can't make it here
Okay.
for some reason. Yeah, but, yeah, we do record them because we go through, and I'll tell you why I like, it's good to have everybody here. Everybody at the table has a different degree of expertise. You've all been working, with the exception of Farad and Nasreen, you've all really been working in Unity a lot. And sometimes even outside the box thinking helps trying to solve problems. Because as you know, when we meet in our groups during the academic year, we run into issues. And it's good to have the group think about problem solving it all together. And I'd like everybody, you know, to come to the meetings, be engaged to help each other out. So for example, even though we'll start part of the meeting, we might be talking about watershed exploration, industrial history, and trying to solve a problem. With your background expertise, you can be very helpful helping that.
yeah,
And that's where, you know,
Especially with fresh pair of eyes,
Fresh-
because you haven't been involved, things that we are totally blind for, you see like, what about that? And that's the solution. It's incredible.
yeah, that's one of the, and this is something I'm really happy you're here for, because you offer that fresh pair of eyes where, the two of us especially, you know, that we've been through all these projects so many times. You know, we miss things because we're testing things and we miss things. Just, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, any other questions about the summer?
I have questions like on the days, like I said, like our group meeting or like the mountaintop activities. Are we required to come here on those days and working on stuff, or we could work like down there in bunch?
Okay, so my preference is that everyone works in the lab. You know, and the reason for that is we've got the development computers. I know sometimes y'all work on your own computers too, but I think we're at the point now this summer where we're going to be doing a lot of headset testing, and ideally, and I'll talk about this a little bit with lab equipment and get to the lab equipment discussion, but I'd love for everyone to be in this lab space doing the work as much as possible. One of the reasons for that is if we don't use it, we run a risk of losing space. You know, this is a mountaintop room, and we get a lot of use out of this during the academic and even during the summers too. But you know, they have access to the key card swipes. If anyone ever wanted to check, say, hey, how often were people in and out of this room? You know, and they see, oh, they weren't in this room for 6 weeks in the summer. That's not going to reflect well on us. So, and so I know this puts the two of you in a different type of situation compared to the previous years because everybody was up here, and it kind of separates you a little bit from that mountaintop community. But at the same time, when you look, there's a lot of things that are scheduled sporadically during the week, and you know, you'll be down there for those types of things.
Is there like a strictly like starting time for like this? Like,
Did Bill say there was a strict starting time and end time?
he just said like the building is open like 8:30 to 5 p.m.
Oh, that's what they have to like unlock and lock the door and stuff.
Yeah, they're just saying that. It's just not like when you start doing your work on the day.
is that the building down there or up
I think
here?
it's
It's just like
Oh, okay,
open up.
This is key card access.
yeah,
So again, I would say, you know, I don't think, you know, if you don't want to start at 8:30, that's okay. If you want to start at 9 or 9:15, that's okay with me too. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be like a 9 to 5 job, and you should take lunch break. So again, you have to think about lunch. We're gonna pack lunch, bring it up here. Again, without the transportation, I don't know, you know, how often the buses are gonna run, which I'll have to figure it out. The other thing that, if we look at the next thing here is juniors availability. So junior's going to be in the lab on these days and times, right? So my expectation especially is I really want everybody, especially you guys, Quan and T in here, to be here during Junior's availability because he's here to help you. If you have questions, you get stuck on something, that's when he's available.
You know, I'm coming from Kutztown, all the way from Kutztown to be here with you. So.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm suffering to find a place.
And I'm also with it, once July comes around, when we have these meetings, I'm gonna be here Mondays and Thursdays. I'm not gonna rush out the door. I'll be here. Also needs me, so if I need to be here to do headset testing on Mondays and Thursdays afterwards, and that's my plan, to stay here Mondays and Thursdays. Okay, let's see. Any other mountaintop questions?
It's okay to do some work at home as long as I'm using this space, like, I guess, enough. But,
Yeah,
like, obviously come up here Monday, Thursday, and,
yeah, because you're living in Palmerton, right?
well, I'm living on campus,
Oh, okay,
but I'm kind of like, I was planning on kind of traveling back and forth. I mean, it's not a far travel.
Yeah.
So like Tuesday and Wednesday, I might not be here, but like I'll probably be here Monday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Maybe the weekend, I'm not
Mhm.
sure, so.
Yeah.
I guess if I'm here, I'll try to come to the lab.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I might be doing it at home, but.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess it's okay though.
No, pretty much the same.
Yeah, same situation.
Okay.
If I have any questions, I will come up here.
Okay, all right. Do you all need headsets at all? Gonna be working
Yeah,
out.
I think we don't need any.
I don't
Yeah.
think for the Lehigh Gap, I don't think
It's all desktop.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I don't think we should, unless I guess we like miraculously finish everything like really early. And then maybe we're working on other things and we might have to talk about that, but
okay,
otherwise, for now, I don't think we will need it.
okay. All right, we want to do initial tasks next or go to lab equipment? Let's do lab equipment next, so we'll go back to the initial tasks. In fact, maybe we'll do the initial task. All right, so equipment, Gian and I are working with a guy from LTS named Bradley Dahl to come up with a check-in and check-out system for equipment. It's not ready yet. I reached out to Bradley, I don't know, Friday, I thought, and I haven't gotten a response from him yet today. So I'll know more about that once I get it, but there's going to be when Nasreen's ready to do her study. I just gotta tell you what this is like, right? We got these 7 headsets. They have to be prepped and ready. You got to get batteries. We have chargers here. We have these are all rechargeable batteries in here. These are backup batteries that are non-rechargeable, right? It's going to be important, before you go out to do data collection with 7 headsets, make sure to check all these. Everything should be ready to go in. There should be, at least with the Quest 2 headsets. I don't know about the Quest 3s, but in each of these containers, there's headphones, there's controllers. So give an example. But yeah, headphones are in here, and you have the headset and the controllers. When we store these controllers, the batteries have to be taken out because they will suck up the charge if you leave them. So really important that, and we have on there where it says, VR event management. If you want to just click on that real quick, Farad. And that's in the river housekeeping folder. You know, there's really, we have detailed instructions here about what you need to do before doing an event, making sure things are charged. And also in here, these are where you keep the, these are the cable adapters here. Usually we have, we left the lens cleaner in here, which is fine. We have, let's see, they're in here somewhere, right? We have lens cleaner box. It's a purple one. Yeah. Nice.
Maybe it's inside the other. Here, no, there, in the other. Travel case, the suitcase.
Here, sorry, I'm looking for that. I'm gonna order more of these. Before I leave, I'm just gonna put this right here on my computer, so before I walk out today, I order more. So for cleanup, or if you have, sometimes multiple people at an event, more than one person's gonna use it. We have, plenty of wipes here. I got more at home if we need more. I think these will be fine, at least to start. Lens cleaners are good to bring with you too, in case lens get smudgy. Everything is labeled numbers, so you know this charger goes with this headset. So it's really important that everything gets stayed together. If you've been in this room, I don't know if anyone has been in this room, where Junior and I or Gian have come back from an event. What happens is when you come back, everything has to get taken out. These headsets have to get cleaned and wiped off with wipes. You know, these face masks. There's a procedure for usually taking these out a little bit, wiping them down, and then putting them back in. Batteries have to get recharged. I mean, it's all listed there. Some stuff to do.
So is this already charged and ready to be used? And after you come from the event to charge it for the next?
They should be, but again, I would recommend before we go out the first time, just to double check, plug it in, charge. I mean, you can turn it on and, you know, you hit quick settings, they'll tell you what the battery charge is. It's always best to test beforehand. So I would, again, when you're getting the SDKs put on these things, you know, it's always going to be, you might have to charge them up. I could say, and Junior, correct me if I'm wrong, but me and Junior and John have been pretty good, trying to keep things charged, but I will tell you, like with a lot of, most of the Quest 3s, not the Quest 2s, the last, couple of weeks, we've had to pull them out, get things attached to the Lunar network for development. So a lot of the headsets were being used to just get them into the system, to the Luna system. Yeah. I don't know if every Quest 3 has a headset in it yet or not, but we'll have to take a headset in the case. That's
What?
Like headphones.
Headphones.
No, not all of them have one gadget.
Yeah, and again, I'm not too worried about the Quest 3s right now, like this month or anything, because we're not doing any data collection. The fall is, so when I come back in July, then I'll deal with that if we have to order more headsets.
I think we have, because we bought these headphones for the study last year of the high depth story. And we bought about 15 to 20, I guess. We bought 15 to 20, so in the RiVR lab, I think you mentioned, yeah. I have the number.
Yeah, but we're kind of at the point now where we're gonna start moving those headphones off into the places. Like if I need to buy some more headphones. But yeah, and so here's the other thing about this room, you know, this room's locked and secured. What's gonna happen is, you know, if y'all are going out on data collection thing with these 7 things, you're gonna come back. You have to give yourself time to clean things. Doesn't take, I don't know, wait, if there's 2 of us, what, no more than about a half hour for cleaning everything. You got 2 people, once you get the system down, it takes about a half hour to clean everything out. But you gotta charge them again. So that means you gotta leave the headsets out overnight. I don't expect you all to, you know, stay in here while they're charging, right? But I think what's gonna be really important as a group here is that we all understand when headsets are being taken out to use for research purposes, so that we're all aware of it, you know. And that was one of the things working with Bradley Dahl to kind of create a calendar when we know when things are going out too, and things to be preserved. That's sort of the plan. Yeah. So I'm saying this summer, when they start doing the data collection, we come into a meeting, and they're out on a Wednesday, we show up on Thursday, there might be 7 headsets connected to this thing to charge. It's just the way it might be. All right, so Rod, if you can go back to the meeting notes. The other thing that's important, if you can click on River House Lab Housekeeping. So, and then go ahead and click to the left, the outline version. So this is there's some pretty important stuff that some of you, especially I think Farad, Serena and others, gonna need to know here. The stuff at the beginning, the meta app setup, pairing the headsets to the app. I think you should read through those so you understand what's going on with the app. We have a burner phone here that is where the meta app is. It's on here. And to get into here, it says right here, burner phone passcode right there, 123456. Our ID is the same as our password that we use here. What's really important, and everything is set up right now. I like to say is that every headset now, all the Quest 2s and Quest 3s are set up in developer mode. And that's how we keep our headsets, not for like consumer mode, but in developer mode. So, because that enables us to put our projects onto the headsets. So if you click like enabling developer mode on the left, that kind of, you know, talks you through everything for that. The Luna Mac addresses for getting things set up. Again, we've already done this, so you probably won't have to do that. Go ahead and scroll down on that outline. I think we've now got everything, the automatic updates disabled on the headsets. This is a weird, the updates are, they're a pain in the ass. So the thing about the automatic updates, why we had to disable it, is as developers, it does some wacky things on our projects and on the headset. At some point, and again, I'm gonna have to defer to Junior here. I don't know if we're gonna need to do it this summer, hopefully not. Maybe in the fall, I don't know. But when it comes time for an update, you know, we're gonna have to go through a process in the lab and update the headsets. I don't anticipate us needing to do that this summer. Do you, Junior? No. So I think we're gonna be in good shape with that. All right. So enabling Luna, we've got that done. How to reset a VR headset. I don't know if we will ever need to do. Let's see. Hopefully we won't need to do that. The reset. There's instructions here how to cast the headset. So in terms of how you want to cast from the computer, you know, if somebody's in the headset, how do you cast so that everybody else can see it? There's instructions there. So for it's probably gonna be important for you to read through some of that stuff. SideQuest is another application we use to load projects on. There's a couple different ways that we can get our projects onto that site. SideQuest is one of these ways. Another is just like when we build the APK and we load and we can do a build and run and get the APK on there right away. And then the next one below, so we've got testing and what's I say, testing in a headset with lab. Right, click on that one, testing in the headset, with lab computer. So in terms of when we do headset testing, these are the instructions on how we test with the laptop. And so there's some screenshots and how to do that. Then loading the projects. There's you have to go through these build settings. And so we've got the recommended build settings listed there for Quest 2. If you click for MetaQuest 3 for that, this one we don't have yet, and we're going to have you do that this summer. So that's something that you'll learn how to do once you get used to, using the Quest 2. But we need some instructions for the MetaQuest 3. We thought that would be a good use of the time for that. Figure that out. Let's see. And their engineers got a link there with some settings in there to help out. YouTube video? Yeah, it's a YouTube video. Yeah, you don't need to. All right. And then the Unity, the build and run generates the APK too, and it also lets you test right away. So there's a lot of different ways to get things into the headset, tested, building, running, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Darn, it's 4 o'clock today. All right. All right, so let's see if we can finish up by 4:30. I think we're going to be okay here. So let's go back to the meeting notes. All right. I'm gonna go sprint reports, then we'll do initial tasks. So there's a folder here that I've created. It's no, let's go back to the folder first. So here's where our sprint reports are going to be housed this summer. It's in the River Lab. I put them in under IVR 1, and I made a folder called Sprint Report Summer 2024. Go ahead and click on that now, Farad. And so here's the sprint report. And this would be kind of used as a template. And T, I guess you're the manager, right? So you're familiar with sprint reports and how to duplicate it. And, I think what we've been doing in the past is we've just taken the last weeks, right? And then just copy, and then you just kind of remove the hours. So here, I'll drive here, excuse me. So with this, what I've done is on the port, I put direct links to the IVR 1 meeting notes here. I put direct links to the IVR 2 meeting notes. Up on the top, these are the closing dates, which will be on Fridays. So at the end of the day, Friday, these should be done. T, your job would be also at the end of the day, Friday to remind people to update their sprint report and to send to, hopefully, again, it either happen on Friday at the end of the day, or you can do it first thing on Monday the next week, is send Bill Whitney a copy.
Okay.
That way he knows, what your hours are, what people have been working on. I don't know, did he talk about forms and accountability to y'all?
He mentioned, at least for associates, like basically kind of like clocking in-ish, like logging hours, just because he wanted associates to stay around like that 10 hours-ish mark. So I don't.
But he didn't give you a specific.
No, he
one.
didn't like elaborate.
Right.
Okay. So I mean, this might be okay.
It is. This is okay. So what they've done in the past is, let me just give you a little history of the mountaintop. This has always been a problem with a lot of other groups, not ours. Because we use a sprint report and it's important that we document it. And so last year, they went to some accountability forum. And I said to Bill, we have a sprint report. He knows this. And we just shared our sprint report, so we're good. So this will get sent with Bill Whitney. So with this, you basically, you know, you write your day and what you spent your time in. So if you had like a meeting, at Mountaintop meeting, or you attended something for Mountaintop, log it in because it's part of the hours that you spend on Mountaintop. And so I kind of put here, you know, I put like Quan and T 40 hours. I guess maybe what I should do is it's, Junior, are you in here?
What?
Are you in the sprint
I
report?
don't know, you created it, right?
Yeah.
I think I should do it.
I guess what I need to do is, let's change Quan and T to 35. I'm not gonna, I was thinking what we should do is make,
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, now I understood.
yeah, I
I
just
can
want
do
to,
it.
yeah, let's just put a range for Quan. That's what I said, 35 to 40. You know, and then the same thing we do, we keep an hour bank if you go, you know, less or above or something like that. I put for Maddox and Mo 10 hours, and Nasreen 10 hours. I know you told me 20 hours, but yeah, it's fine. That's fine if you want to work more than 10 hours, but I thought just be consistent with your associates and fair deal with the 10 hours. Any challenges that come up as you're working, put listed here the issues and the challenges. That way, on the sprint report, we know like if we're going to meet Thursday, like for Thursday, say you're working the next 2 days, issues come up, just put it on the sprint report, and that way we can address it Thursday when we meet. And then these would carry over. We keep a few things here, like always keep the padlock is 9215 on this thing, so we always leave that, or something knows how to get into the cabinet here. I did not go through everything here. And we're not going to do this today. Maybe Thursday if we have time, Junior, or if Junior has time. We should go through this and see if we can cross some things out. And if we want to add other things to this, we can. I mean, we have our punch list. So I'm not overly concerned. We can keep this at high end level, like kind of like what we have here. You know, like complete headset VR version, pre-post map test and analytics, something like that. So I don't think, which we think we have most of this stuff here, but at some point, Junior and I, you know, Junior, if you could take a pass at this and maybe we look at this to update this.
This is a duplicate from the other one that we finished in spring, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna remove everything that is not also about project, just like we have things about we have that story, yes.
Yeah.
There's no we have a story for this summer.
Yeah. And again, yeah, Lehigh Gap story is going to be, you know, I don't know if we're going to get to the others. All right, so that's the sprint report. Any questions? The sprint report? Okay. All right, right. All right, here, give this back to you. Okay, so should we do initial task, or we want to just quick look at plastic?
Initial test because it's not enough time for plastic.
Okay. Those who, so yeah, I want to say we're not, so Junior said we're not gonna have enough time for plastics. But everybody knows, make a new branch from the main mode when you do your development. And then my recommendation is when you're ready to merge, either merge during Junior's available hours, that would be preference, or we'll merge when we have a meeting. Okay, that way it's always. I think it's always better if you don't merge by yourself, just because things pop up, that way we can look at it critically. And it's good to have extra sets of eyes, especially at least two people minimum doing the merges at the class.
And also because we have to review, another person that was not the developer needs to review. To check whether the developer really accomplished what he set out or they set out to complete, right? We also need the reviewer to check whether the commit, the message, the check-in or the commit message is meaningful and not just some things that doesn't make any sense at all. So it's very important that two people are together, and one of these people is the reviewer for that time frame. In this case, which is me, you can always check in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at any time.
And we hope to get, like I said, I hope within a week or two at the most, Farad will be comfortable enough for him to start doing reviews and the change sets and testing things out. So we envision using this time. All right. So,
What about the tasks?
yes. Okay. All right, so initial tasks. All right, so let's start off with Quan. I think Quan, what we want to do is I'm going to grab from the long-term tasks. It's on, sorry, it's under IVR. It's below here in the notes. I'm just going to pull it up. Put that in the right spot.
Where are you?
Goofed, hold on. Uh-oh, hold on. I goofed.
What?
What looks like,
All right, so Quan, we're gonna start you off with these reminders. As your initial task. So you think that's enough for Tuesday, Wednesday?
So also think that you can have around work on Tuesday or being very optimistic, I'm gonna say half Tuesday, but
All right,
I'll probably like ask you, to like check if what you don't have available time and to check them just to make sure.
all right. Then
Yeah,
probably after that would be work on the Spanish language. Or no, the dialogue sheet, right?
oh yeah, that's the.
Yeah, Spanish
work,
language.
Yeah, we'll highlight the text, right?
All right, I'll add that as kind of the next task for you to here. I'll just bring it up here.
Yeah, those should be enough for. I think. Okay.
Uh, All right, I put it in full face there for you. Yeah, I know. Just wanna let it stand out there, right? Use Visual Studio.
Green Island.
Yeah, I think we highlighted the.
Do whatever you wanna do, as long as it stands out.
Mhm.
Guys can edit after me.
Paint is another popular tool.
Yeah. All right. All right. T. you pretty much know what you need to do with red cap, right?
Mm,
Coordinate with junior.
I think like, what we gonna do first, junior?
I need to know from you, where did you stop, in the spring?
The narration
Progress
panel,
panel, right? No.
the
wait.
narration. Narration, like, the
So,
start.
so did you develop that already?
Yeah, I did.
Has anyone ever tested that?
I don't think we ever test any of this.
Okay, so we can start testing the narration analytics. And then we can also run other tests. Let's just start by testing and make sure that we know what was developed by you, because it was a lot. You did a lot of excellent work. And then if we ever need to check whether it is missing something, we can ask Dr. Penn real quick.
Okay.
All right, and then have with the map task, has analytics been applied to that too?
Yeah, but
Yes, and that needs to be tested.
That was the first one.
I think that should be tested too.
Everything should be tested.
All right. I'll also say, I don't want y'all to wait too long about contacting a mirror. I mean, I'd like, if you think we're gonna need a mirror this week, it would be good to like reach out to them by Wednesday.
I don't think we will do, because like he stayed here for 3 hours that day and we were doing a simple check. He didn't find anything. So I will work this week to see whatever I can do under my power. If I cannot, then I'll pass it on for him. And you have 9 weeks to give support.
Okay.
Because like if I touch base with Amir now, what's going to happen?
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. All right, so do you have enough to do for the next 2 days? Yes.
I was just asking like, based on like junior's availability, like, is there like anything I could do on my own? Because like, is this supposed to be testing with you?
You can test by yourself as well.
Then I need someone to help me like set up a house.
Did you write the documentation for whatever you developed?
I did.
Where is the documentation?
I think it's like the red cap folder.
So if you have developed, if you have tested, read through the documentation. So we will do. Oh, I see where you're coming from. She wants to know what is next. What did we ask her to do again?
So maybe this is something to talk to, when we're done here, talk to Farhat about his schedule. Maybe he could help with some of the testing. Yeah. Okay. Be good when you start bringing him into the fold.
So after
He's a fast learner, so it's good.
After we revise this, I think we will have to start showing you where to have access to the full version.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I need to do some
Oh,
comparison.
oh no, wait, do you want analytics on the environmental issues desktop and web as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can move you to desktop and web GL of green and yellow because they are living in the same area.
We have a. We know. Yeah, yeah, we have a desktop. We have desktop VR version. Yeah, we have all that.
My study had a desktop. And Ms. Ring also has a desktop being developed because she's gonna work with that someday, I guess. So yellow has been developed together with green desktop first, and then we focus on VR during the past semester.
One of the things that are nodes clearly labeled. All this-
No, labeled, I don't know,
No,
but our workspaces are in the. We also have the document called. It's here, I guess. repository and workspaces. Under this document,
Yeah,
we have all the names of the repositories, which is a space in the cloud, and the workspaces, which are the places saved on both computers, the laptop and the desktop of the lab. We also have some guidelines of how to save the projects to make sure that it's standard and nobody gets lost under the repository and workspaces file.
all right. So Junior, I'm just gonna add this to your list if that's okay. About labeling the nodes. That needs to get done. All right. All right. So I think what we need to do next is go to the IVR2 document. If we scroll down. Keep going. Meeting notes. So. All right, so the IVR meeting notes here. We have this big long to-do punch list. And so I guess the question I have for you, Maddox and Mo, I would recommend maybe we look at this now and say, hey, which one of these are easy fixes? And let's knock out, a lot of easy fixes. And I guess the thing we'd be doing is, since you're probably gonna each work on your own separate branches, I assume, right?
Yeah.
We'd want to make sure that whatever fix y'all do, they aren't,
Don't do the same thing.
don't do the same thing or
Yeah,
aren't tied together some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
How do we, I'm sorry to cut you off, how do we communicate this within the very workflow? If we open plastic, the first thing we need to do is to create a branch task for us. And then, when you create a branch task, they will ask you for a message. Copy the things you'll be doing and say like, this branch task is supposed to accomplish this, this, and that. So that if Mo has created this branch task for him to start working before Maddox, when Maddox open plastic, he'll see Mo's branch task and he'll see like, oh, Mo is working this, or that, right? And Maddox will create another branch task from the same parent so that both of them have the same version. And then he's gonna copy and paste whatever he wants to work on. This is the best way so that you don't have to be calling anyone, messaging anyone. Just use the very version control system for you to communicate what task you'll be working on. The most problematic issue is when you are working similar scenes. So you need to try to avoid that as much as possible. So maybe the first step for you is to identify in each one of these punch lists if this is something of a single scene or if it's something that like goes throughout scenes, right? Because you cannot be working on the same scene because Unity is gonna count that as a merge conflict.
So I was gonna suggest that we split it up based on the parts of the game. Like, how we have part 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if Mo is doing stuff, we could like each work on part 1, but I feel like that would lead to some issues. So I feel like it makes more sense for like, and this is just hypothetical, but like, say Mo is working on part 1, like I probably shouldn't touch part 1 at all, like unless he has a specific thing where he's like, I might need some help with this. Can you maybe try this out? But other than that, I feel like we should like definitely avoid like, okay, he does part 1, I do part 2, or he does part 1 and 2, I do 3 and 4, like something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like when you look at this, there's a lot of stuff to begin with that's just dealing with the video, the geologic time video.
Mhm.
And maybe one of you all say, hey, I'll take the geologic time video and we can,
With the timer thing.
yeah, I mean, some of these you got.
That's a problem everywhere, right? Or not everywhere. It's a common like that.
Yeah, but
multi-
just someone say, hey, I'm going to, one of you say, hey, I'll start with the geologic time video, right?
Yeah.
And work through the issues with the geologic time video. And then the next person could say, well, there's no background music after the Lehigh Gap nature scene. That could be, look at these next few things down. Grab the mouse with. So like, if we say, hey, and again, I'll let you all decide among yourselves who wants to do what, right? But it seems like, if you look at the video stuff,
Mhm.
these first three thing here, seems like that's easy for the video. This transition timer would be here. The fungus, I would maybe skip the fungus thing for now.
I was gonna say I need to take some time to learn.
Yeah.
Fungus because I'm not familiar with that.
Right.
Yeah.
But at least we could get these four things here on the video done, or somebody can take that on. And then what we could do is say, all right, let's now look at
Wait.
Yeah.
The video will involve fungus at some capacity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the way it like calls this events like with the timer.
Yeah.
So we might just have to dive into fungus like right away. I mean, I think that's not bad necessarily if we know that like immediately. Because I feel like fungus is used like a lot. So
Yes, this game was,
I think we kind of have to learn it like immediately.
I'm gonna share a documentation I created with the other students who studied fungus writing in 2020.
So Maddox, do
Okay.
you want to take that on?
Yeah, I can take.
All right, so I'm gonna assign I'll assign these some of these to you. Is that how long is it? I guess it's just late on my
Let me know if I'm like taking it. Yeah. If you really want to do something.
You don't see it?
Name?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Actually, I haven't played the game.
Oh, I kind of put Atmatics.
Would you
Like
like
you did,
started
but
watching
keeps
the
taking out the
yeah,
app.
yeah, at least I haven't
Huh.
played 30 myself, but I've watched it all obviously. So
I don't know why, Maddox, can you see where I'm putting your name here?
yeah, I see.
All right.
You want me to like highlight it or something?
Yeah, whatever works. I mean, I'll add your name here and
I mean, I think it's fine enough, but
Oh,
Yeah.
I think the app works as a comment. You highlight it as a comment.
usually when you write the add it,
yeah, I can like click on it like it's my information. So that's good enough, I think. I mean, I can see it.
all right, and then this one I'll do it too. It's the flow chart. Fungus,
I guess everything to do with fungus in the video.
yeah.
As a reminder, the video thing, like, one has created a very nice code for watershed exporters that it counts
Mhm.
how, like, it notices when the video ends, so you don't have to count anymore. So you can check.
Where can I find that code? Is it
Almost an idea one experience. I think I can.
Okay.
Give you the stuff, just like that. It's not about that.
it's in like do I have to go into the plastic and get it there or is it
Well, an idea one, which is.
Oh.
So I know.
yeah, like do I have to go into the repo or the repository for that game?
Yeah, you have to either close it again, look at the pocket, in that game, or if it's, I think it's just then you can load it. That's-
Well, it's gonna be in a scripts folder.
Yeah, I think we'll do something on the first folder.
Okay.
So June, I'm sorry, June, before you actually get into that. So for Mo, what might make the most sense to just keep going down the list then with these
Yeah, I can.
background music?
I can try to solve the remaining.
What did you say, no?
Maybe start puzzle one.
I think like, I think we should start with the problem with the code as soon as possible.
Which one?
Like the code that like.
Oh,
game
for this
over, Game over or puzzle two is being handled inside the update method of timer.
It seems like kind of a mess.
Yeah, so we need to split the scripts from like game over, from timer, from score manager. It's all messy.
All right, so that's the one where it says score manager script, timer script, and game over script needs to be revised.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the error, like line 55 issue.
That one I just added, right? If I put Mo's name right there, that one. All right, anything else we want to assign to Mo also while we?
I mean, I guess we can reconvene on Thursday.
Yeah, because we don't have a chance to look into the code.
I wouldn't anticipate that we finish. I mean, ideally, we finish what we assigned by Thursday. But I wouldn't anticipate having too much extra time, like
Right,
beyond that. So we could probably reconvene on Thursday. To like assign more, unless we both like finish it really quickly tomorrow, but we'll see, I guess, how that goes.
all right, so that one you think's gonna take a while, huh?
The
score manager script?
it may, because it's like,
This one, like.
it's kind of like deeply embedded into how the game works possibly, so. I mean, we'll see. I don't imagine my part is gonna be super time consuming, but I guess I'll find out.
After Mo understands and is able to finalize. I'm gonna put colors here because it's really,
Yeah, that'll. Should we like assign colors?
so I'm gonna put yellow here for Mo, like he can do this puzzle 2A. When game over message is displayed, the timer needs to be turned off.
But then there's the issue of the videos having a skip button, which, in all honesty, I think could be fixed pretty easily.
No, yeah, this is not supposed to be done now. So whatever is red,
Mhm.
it involves fungus.
Okay. So that would be more my stuff then.
I don't know, like, I'm just, like color coding here for you to be able to see how much there is or not.
Okay.
If, let me see, are you two making this decision now that you are gonna be the fungus guy and Mo is not gonna be doing fungus?
Do you think we should both know fungus, probably, or you don't think that's necessary?
I don't make this suggestion anymore because the development that you do don't need fungus for your future lives.
Okay.
Fungus is like a plugin to help people that don't know,
Oh,
and we were trying,
yeah.
but it became more problematic than we expected. So we are not using that for a long time already.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, it's kind of a once and done thing.
yeah,
Okay. If you're okay with.
for us though, if you become the fungus guy, you'll be able to help us. No, it's just this project.
Does any other product use it or no?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But like, not to say that it's useless, Fungus is a visual programming thing. So I don't know if you are interested in creating systems yourself in the future, but that is one outcome that can get, gotten out from that.
Do you think you have enough or you?
I'm not sure now.
I feel like I might have enough for now until Thursday.
Yeah,
And I don't know how long that's gonna take.
I'm not sure.
It could not be hard, it could be
Yeah, it's
terrible.
tons of errors.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to kind of do a deep dive into the code probably, so that,
Yeah.
I don't
What do you think? You should get 300 of
I don't
these?
expect that to be super easy, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm painting green, everything that is related to that video thing that one can help.
Okay. He sent me the script. He just emailed it to me.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's excellent.
that's good. Stuff like no background music, no one scene, like that should be pretty easy.
Everything that I'm not using colors, it's just like you said, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Any one of you can tackle this if you are bored or whatever, because
So,
it's gonna
yeah.
give you a motivation boost.
The best thing for us to do, like you said, is when you either make a new branch or push or merge, whatever you want to call it. Definitely like say what you either plan on doing or do, so that we don't do the same thing. And I'll make sure I look at like the plastic comments.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's a good way of doing that. Maybe just like a bulleted list or something, or like if it gets crossed out here, then we know. Because I think we have the ability to, yeah, we can cross out things. So you can also do that if you do it.
Nice and clean wipes. 400, I can give a.
Because they don't have a pack of one, you know?
Well, they do, it's 100, it's gonna be pack of 4, and go back.
It's in red, but the other one is black.
Which one? Most of
So
them.
this one,
Do you think that, well, do you think that? Yeah, something like
total.
background music. Where's the, oh. This
On
stuff,
the-
you like. I don't know if you remember that, but like literally.
Yeah.
You could literally put like, you put any, one of them, you can directly edit the video, but you can put things over top of that.
so what does it mean? Yes.
Assuming that means
Even if it means like,
They're out
what
of
about,
stock?
oh, what if we just put like the,
Oh, so now it's just.
so we have River like, what, like this guy? Like if we just make a big like logo, put that in the corner of the thing, that. Anything that gets.
You know, like disable.
If that's possible, I just don't know if we can go in and edit the video, because it was already like a fully.
Ah, here it is.
Video.
One time, I sent you. They want you to subscribe.
Okay, if it's separate from the
Here we
video.
go. I can just, yeah, that's what I want.
Oh, yeah. Now, but why is this blue and this is green?
Stuff with like the diorama, like, it doesn't like, and there's also like a line of dialogue in the right, that's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I feel like, for Thursday, I think we have enough. For now. Yeah. If we,
Anyways, if you have that calendar here, it means
but
you
we
know
like
what
end up
the meeting of the land is gonna be.
getting it
And
done
also,
quick and
the
like we wanna do
Zoom
more, I
links
guess
are
we could
usually
just
there. You
indicate
can
that
go
in
to the
last.
calendar and click and start the Zoom meeting.
That should be fine, I cross that out here, some of that.
Okay, orders. Placed. There we go. Actually,
Yeah.
Takes a lot of
more, because I just wrote.
hopefully.
I still have no idea how
All right.
to use it with scrubs.
What? I'm pretty sure Tony's just calling us script. Oh.
All right, is there anything else we need to cover today?
I mean, I'll-
Good?
I'll let you know if it doesn't work, but if it doesn't, that's not, at that point, it
Good,
might not
we're
be.
good, everybody's good.
Like if it doesn't work.
Sorry for the 2-hour over 2-hour meeting,
I
but
feel like you
I
can.
think we got everything covered to kick off. All right, so we're off to a good start, hopefully, and we'll see everybody on Thursday.
That's 1 to 3.
Yeah, 1 to 3,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, 1 o'clock.
I
And-
don't have as much of an issue with the bus that day, because I'm not coming from a meeting or anything. so
Okay,
Hopefully, but there's just one bus, so if I'm.
Yeah.
all right, going to the restroom, I'll be right back in case anybody needs to talk.
It's like, I mean, it's constant. It's constantly going up and down, but the thing is,
Yeah.
when it gets to building, when it gets to Iacnota,
I'll
they
try to
always
fix
take
that.
like a 10
I'm
minute.
not sure, because I can.
If you're there for
You
10
can
minutes.
always
they-
text me because I've been in this project since the beginning, so whatever mess is there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every
I'm
single
sure
time
remember
I've
what
been on
they
the bus,
decided
stop
to
and
do, or what they did,
I don't know if that's like a mandatory
and then I can help you on stuff.
I think that's like,
Uh,
it's not a, the bus, like, when it's like,
Or they are gonna change the.
I think since
I
it's
just
a lot
always, I
like
see the driver gets out,
console
he goes
arrows,
to the back, like
console,
outside, he goes to the back of the bus and. looks-
always the line, 15,
Yeah.
5.
But they're always there for like 10
Another thing that I would like you to do,
that delay
It's-
when there's only.
try
two
to
two
approach
buses
it
running,
now,
it's like
like
fine.
big view,
Because they're
big
like on
picture
opposite
approach.
but with one
Like-
bus, it's kind of unfortunate.
Although it's the same script giving the issue, I would like you to try to make sure
And then
that you
think-
like
think so.
make single
I don't think it's on
scripts
the weekend.
for the
Yeah.
floor
no.
manager,
So,
timer.
thankfully, we're not paying up here.
So for each, so for each thing, we're the separate.
Oh, they're in.
Manager.
No, you should, what you can do is to create like for each, let me see. Back in the day, it was like that. Every scene had one score, one timer, one whatever, and it was a mess.
Yeah.
So we were able to merge most of the things, but this timer issue, it's still like always coming in the inspector. For example, the store manager. You can, in the very store manager, create regions or create methods that deal with the specific calculations for script puzzle 1, another one for puzzle 2, puzzle 3, and stuff. You don't need to create many classes for store manager. The same thing for the timer. There is a timer in puzzle 1, there is a timer in puzzle 2A, 2B, and only that. So the timer, you only need to have like 3 blocks of code, and each one of those methods or regions will be controlling for that one. The game over only happens in the first 2 puzzles as well, 1, 2A, and 2B. But I think the other ones, whatever. Yeah, the last one doesn't have anything. The third one doesn't have anything yet. So the game over means if you ran out of time, it needs to trigger a panel saying like, try again. And if you get the score before the time runs out, it triggers the panel, congratulations, you can continue.
Yeah.
So,
Quick question for you. I forgot today, I wanted to just run this by. I was thinking I should pick up some snacks I have in the lab. You okay with that?
of course,
Yeah, all right, I'm gonna put that on my calendar, to do Thursday morning before.
Throwing some juice.
I don't wanna take a link cable that you guys have been using, but I realized that this is actually the link cable that I left like last semester.
all good, because this is not ours. I don't know why.
You
this-
guys probably realized it just like appeared one day. And I saw this thing, and I recognized it.
Good, because our link tables are like that.
So I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
yeah, go ahead
probably
and
used to be
end
on the-
recording, stop recording,
I gave it back to him, I was like.
and I'll send everybody a copy.
Yeah.
of it.
By the way, I don't remember hitting record.
You did,
I did.
when you launch it, it starts automatically.
That makes me
Okay, that's what
very
I'm-
happy.
Yeah,
I thought
I thought
we had brought the wrong one.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm happy